Veterans, fellow active duty service members, see a lot of you out there, thank you for joining us. Parents, families, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the class of 2024 North Carolina State Naval ROTC Commissioning Program. Before I get started into my remarks, I just want to take a minute here to say thanks to a few people. First of all, I want to say thanks to Gunny Sergeant Barrera and his team standing in the back. This is a great crowd today. This is an outstanding venue, and Gunny Sergeant Barrera is really behind, is the wheel that makes everything here happen. And we have been extremely busy the last month, as you may have heard on phone calls or FaceTime. And each time we do it, it goes off flawlessly. And that is a direct attribute to Gunny Sergeant Barrera and his team and the entire staff at the Naval ROTC program. Lots of effort. These things don't go off easily, and they don't come in short time. So a lot of planning and effort has gone into it, and thanks, Gunny, once again for making a flawless execution here at our ceremony. And I'd like to especially say thank you for your service. All right, just a few remarks here from my perspective as the commanding officer of the unit here. I want to start with Admiral Chester Nimitz once said that the Navy has both a tradition and a future, and we look with pride and confidence in both directions. Today, we will observe a time-honored naval tradition, reflect on the transformative journey that has brought these men and women from the ranks of midshipman, officer candidate, and Marine non-commissioned officer to the esteemed status of commissioned officer, and finally celebrate the bright future of the greatest naval fighting force the world has ever known. First, the tradition. The difference between a midshipman and a commissioned officer may not seem like a lot today. Of course, we'll issue an oath, we'll change shoulder boards and collar insignia, we'll promote these men and women to ensigns and second lieutenants. But fundamentally, the people you see here won't be much different when they walk out that door in about an hour. We won't see a flash of light that somehow transforms them from midshipman to officer. But the people today will be much different when the ceremony is over. In fact, the formal ceremony is not even required as part of this transformation, but tradition compels us to wear our dress uniforms, to give speech, to invite a guest, and as I tell my staff, eat cake. All right, cake. You have a ceremony in the Navy and Marine Corps, you eat cake. All right. However, if you look and listen closely, you'll see that this event is more than a change in rank and some cake. It's not just about the uniform. It's about a mindset, a commitment to uphold the values and standards of the United States Navy and Marine Corps. It's about the weight of responsibility that comes with the privilege of leading sailors and defending the freedom we hold dear. It represents a profound transformation in their lives they will never forget and never walk away from. When your journey began as fourth-class midshipman, each one of you swore an oath, signed a piece of paper, and accepted a scholarship, stipend, books, and a uniform. Today you'll repeat that oath once again, but with meaning like never before. An oath that swears allegiance to a piece of paper and its principles. However, as you raise your right hand, and for the folks here, listen closely and reflect on what's happening. It is much more than a commitment to just support and defend. The men and women before you will solemnly swear they will make a serious commitment to their legal obligations. They will defend against all enemies, not just the ones that suit their personal interests or objectives. They'll bear faith and allegiance. They will commit to the belief in a binding loyalty between themselves, their country, and their citizens, all citizens. They'll take the obligation freely without mental reservation. Their moral bond will be sealed permanently and completely. They won't be standing on the stage crossing their fingers behind their back. To this day, each time I read the oath, issue it, or listen to it, I am reinvigorated with passion and pride for service. It feels today like it did for me 30 years ago. It never gets old, and it never loses its meaning. The oath is both the tradition and the future. It's the link, and it is the flash of light you might not see, but it will certainly occur, permanently changing each person from an individual student and midshipman to a member of an elite fighting force and team committed to service before self. There will be no going back. The future begins today. General Joseph Dunford, United States Marine Corps and 19th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, once said when speaking to a group of midshipmen, "Beginning today, it's no longer about you. For the past 4 years, someone cared about your grade point average. Someone cared about your level of physical fitness. Someone cared about your personal appearance. Someone cared about your accomplishments and achievements. Today, that's all in the sticker price. Nobody cares. You get no credit anymore for any of those things. What you get credit for is the impact you have on the young men and women that you'll be so fortunate enough to lead. That's actually what you get credit for. In short, a midshipman embodies potential, promise of what is to come. Today is the fulfillment of a promise, the evolution from eager student to leader, ready to navigate the complexities of naval service during a time of intense challenge to the national security of the United States. They transition from a role of learning and preparation to one of responsibility and action. As a midshipman, you honed your academic skills, absorbed lessons of leadership, bounced between civilian and military as you navigated college life and laid the foundation for the challenges that lay ahead. Today, you will stand as a commissioned officer, committed to an oath and charged with the duty to lead, inspire, and serve every day, in and out of uniform. I want to say a few things about the parents and family and friends who are here today. First of all, it's an incredible crowd. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being here to support these men and women. You all have witnessed this growth and transformation firsthand. From the eager midshipmen who embarked on this journey to the confident and capable officers standing before us today. Your support has been critical in their development and will be even more necessary as they embark on a new and challenging path. You have seen the growth, the challenges overcome, and the unwavering dedication to service that defines each individual's character as a commissioned officer. What separates the U.S. Navy and Marines from all other navies in the world and what makes us great is the tireless support of our families, friends, and communities who hold the line at home and are the very foundation of everything we do and achieve. Your positive contributions and impacts on the lives of these young men and women has been central to providing the operating space they need to focus and develop expertise throughout their college career. This link and connection will continue to be as important as ever during initial assignments in flight school, nuclear power school, surface warfare training, officer candidate school, and deployments across the globe. In short, your commitment has ensured that each of these officers arrive on board, ready to lead, fight, and win. From here forward, the Navy and Marine Corps places great trust and confidence in you to carry on missions, navigate the seas of great power competition, and to lead with honor, courage, and commitment that define our naval heritage. Speaking personally to the midshipmen, it's been a great pleasure witnessing the final stages of your growth as officer. For those that know, this is my first year in command of the ROTC unit. This is my first encounter with seniors who are completing their final year of school. Without a doubt, you have witnessed a fundamental shift in training in higher education, and you have faced challenges with resilience, creativity, and success. You have laid a foundation of excellence, leading our battalion and mentoring our younger midshipmen and generation. Your enthusiasm, teamwork, esprit de corps, and positive attitude will be greatly missed. Not to mention our friendly banter about North Carolina State Marquette basketball games, which I think I still am in debt to that. You don't have much time to collect, so. I look forward to following your careers and will be standing by to support, guide, and mentor you on your journey. Fair winds and following seas, as we say. May your leadership reflect the values learned here at North Carolina State. May you carry the Wolfpack pride and confidence in the service of our great Navy and nation. God bless you, and God bless the United States Navy and Marine Corps. It's now my pleasure to introduce our guest of honor. Well, I have his bio here, but I won't read the entire thing. Admiral Morton is a graduate of North Carolina State and is was a retired member of the Civil Engineers Corps in the United States Navy. He served 30 years, retiring from active service in 2016. Over the course of his naval career, he served across the globe, from Washington, D.C., Cuba, to Islamabad, Pakistan. He's a native of North Carolina State, a graduate of the Industrial College of the Armed Forces, and a registered professional engineer in the state of Georgia, and a member of the National Academy of Construction. It's my great pleasure, and thank you, sir, for joining us today, to introduce Admiral Morton.
I got a tough act to follow there. You covered a lot of the bases that are important to hear. Dr. Stafford, Dr. Zapata, Captain Tannick, thank you so much for having me here today. And again, it is amazing to see such a supportive and diverse group of folks here that are supporting these 14 young people that have chosen a life of service. Now the question is, how long is that life of service? And my supposition is the commitment you've made now and the oath you will take again today is indicative of what's ahead for you. Whether you're in that uniform in 5 years or doing something completely different, you've chosen something that most people in this country don't choose. And I think you need to let that sink in. As the captain talked about this oath, I think today will be a blur for you. And I'm just going to ask you to remember the best you can when you're going through the changes in the dynamic life of a naval officer or a Marine Corps officer. And they are the same thing, by the way. That when you get orders to a place that's not of your choosing, and I will guarantee you as a former detailer, and a detailer in Navy parlance is somebody who assigns the job, the place that somebody will go. There are many unhappy souls when the orders arrive on your doorstep. And I'm asking you to buckle up and consider what you committed to do. Today you're saying you're all in. And again, based on my experience, when I took my oath, and it was a little less formal than this, it was at the Holiday Inn in Reidsville, North Carolina, by the swimming pool. At my brother's wedding, my father administered the oath, and then my brother and his groomsmen threw me in the water. So we do have a pool behind us here. So you might not escape. But a wedding down is a tradition as well, one of those tried and fun traditions. However, when you start your training, whether you're going to Charleston or Pensacola or Quantico, to figure out what it is the United States needs you to do for them, do your best to try to take it all And at some point, it will register. But I will guarantee you it's not registering today, and it probably won't register when you get your wings or when you finish the basic school. But when you do something with that education, that training in the military, where you're called upon to do something critically important for our country. And for me, it was 9 years of service. Now, I was a dirt sailor. And I'm really surprised that Captain Tannick asked me to be here, because typically the ROTC units don't want a civil engineer who's never on a ship and never underwater, but by the way, almost always deployed somewhere, places that you or I don't want to go back to such event. But it was 9 years on when I was deployed with my CBs. CBs are construction battalion units. They're the trades. They're carpenters, electricians, plumbers, equipment operators, and mechanics. We're deployed to the Balkans, to Bosnia, and something I couldn't imagine that I would be involved in, but I was supporting the Army with my CBs keeping peace in a place that didn't know peace. And a dear friend of mine who was in a staff job, I do not know how John Summer made his way to the Balkans, but he also had something called a digital camera. This is 1996. So there were no cell phones. We had a satellite telephone that the chief of naval operations, because we were the only Navy on the ground in the Balkans, allowed my CBs to have 3 minutes of a phone call a month on a satellite phone that cost $14 a minute. And I had 200 CBs, do the math. So CNO's putting money on the table. And my friend John came out from somewhere, maybe from the 6th Fleet, and he took a picture. Now, I'll also tell you, I did not have a computer in my possession, and I did not have an email account. That's how long ago this was. But John had both. And he took the photo, and he sent it to my wife, who, to my chagrin, had a computer and an email account. And she told John to tell me, we're all in. I'm a lieutenant commander. I've been in the Navy for 9 years. And then it struck my wife and family that we were doing something important enough that all the sacrifices of being deployed and away from home, and that was my 3rd or 4th deployment in that 9 years, it was important enough that we were all committed. Now my young daughters, who were 4 and 6, they didn't quite know what that one is either, but they got in the bus and came with us. But it took that long to be equipped to understand the gravity of what I'm being asked to do. From that point forward, it was very easy to take those orders from the detailer and go to wherever that was. And you mentioned some of the great spots. You mentioned Washington, D.C. Everybody wants to be stationed at the Pentagon. Were you there? Yes, sir. Yeah, loved it. You all, that's your first choice when we tell you to go to the Pentagon. I would advise against it, but again, it's a developmental job. My last job in the Navy was in the Pentagon, and it developed me to come to NC State. So I'm very grateful to come here and do the seat well. So, bear with the Navy, bear with the Marine Corps. At some point, it will start sticking. And I implore you not to give up too early, because there'll be things that seem more attractive to you. Money. What does that do for you? But I'm telling you, when you get that role, when somebody asks you, a sailor, a Marine, can you help me? Or you realize that you can help them with their life, it all changes. And it might take more than your initial commitment to get to that point. So don't give up. Don't ever give up. Who said that? Dr. Steph? Jimmy B. Yeah. So, another thing we have in common, speaking of students, is that when I was a student here 41 years ago, our basketball team went to the Final Four. And it had been 41 years since they had gone back. Now, in my day, we won the whole thing, so you got close. You got close. But let me tell you what's going to happen for you. Because you have that NC State brand on you, that experience here being in Raleigh, that somewhere along the way, somebody's going to say, where did you go to school? And you're going to say NC State. And I hope one of you is a basketball fan. Because one of those people is going to say, wasn't that remarkable? And you're going to have a bond with somebody you've never met. I told Derek Wittenberg, and I don't hang out with Derek, but Derek is around the campus. When I met him, when I came back, I said, Derek, you changed my life. What do you mean? I said, everywhere I went, from the first training in my Navy life to the last, people remembered your pass to Lorenzo Charles. And it was adorable. And I can be pretty social. I might be worn out from being at parties and stuff, but if somebody starts talking about Wolfpack basketball, it's a door opener. It changes the way people receive it. So what you've gotten from NC State, you've gotten a great education, you've gotten a great foundation, but you've now got this social connection that you can thank DJ Burns Jr. All right? So if you're not a basketball fan and you don't know who DJ Burns Jr. is, go do some homework, because somebody's going to ask you at your first training. So I'll end with talking about this photo. And there was a British philosopher and commentator a century ago, G.K. Chesterton, and I used this at a speech that I gave in 127-degree weather in the Iraqi desert when I was leaving my first command. And he said, the only thing required for evil to succeed is that good men do nothing. So I'll update that, that good women and men do nothing. And you've already decided to do something. And those of you in the room that have served, some that are in uniform, some that have been in uniform, you've made a choice that is rare to make, that you've taken out of it. When I was in command and leading my troops to Afghanistan in the fall of 2001, so the fall is just months after 9/11, and I happened to find myself deployed to the Pacific, and the Navy said, Doug, your unit, or orders, your unit is going to go to Afghanistan to help General Mattis and the Marines deal with this problem. And I'm in charge of 1,000 men and women, and I'm scared to death. Because I'm looking back on my training and I said, there's no page in the book here. What do I do? I don't have the war chapter here. But what I did have was every day leading to that point was a part of that book. It was the real-life training and experience that I had, whether it was in Bosnia or whether it was deployed elsewhere or understanding the complexities of the world. And so there I was in the middle of the night in Guam. If you haven't been to Guam, Guam's good, right? Middle of the Pacific Ocean. And I was sending 50 men and women to Afghanistan. And just 10 minutes before I put them on the plane, they learned where they were going. Think about this. The faith they had in the Navy and their leadership to go through the preparations, to go through the training, and be getting on a plane with their pack and their gear. And I said, you're going to Afghanistan. And I'm thinking, what can I say that is more meaningful than good luck or do your best? And it struck me, you are living your hope. So the oath you're taking, and I get emotional because I remember the day, but the oath you're taking is just that. Whatever the Marine Corps and the Navy asks you to do, you're going to lead sailors and Marines to do it. And you have to remind them of the value of that commitment, of that sacrifice. They all came back, which I'm very grateful for. But they all got on the plane. And you're going to see that every day of your naval service. That if you lead them, they will follow. You've got great examples here. Find yourself a gunny or a chief and learn from them. Please do not end up at your first command and acting like you know what you're doing. Because I'm telling you, that will not go well for you. But remember why you were doing it. Do your best to remember. Be a great teammate. Be kind to your sailors and Marines who need you to be kind. When I got here to NC State, people expected I would be barking orders. And I can look at the captain and say, do you remember the last time that you marked the order? You know, that's in the movies. It's just not the way it works. You're going to develop, well, maybe the movies for a second. You're going to develop these young men and women to serve because it's the thing they explore to do. So please, when you take your oath today, try to cement that somewhere in your head so at the point in time where it needs to come back to you, you can recall it. Again, parents and friends and family, it's a delight to be with you. It is really heartening to see the support that these young people have. As the captain said, please continue to give that. When somebody gets orders to the Pentagon or Guam, be excited about that for them, even if you're not, because they need that support every second of their service. So again, I salute you, and again, Captain, thank you so much for having me, and Godspeed as you serve, and serve like my life depends on it.
Thank you, Admiral Morton. The oaths of office will now be administered. The oath that all military officers take is a combination of constitutional requirements, historical influence, and centuries-old custom, with an overarching purpose to bind the commissionee to service. Ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you to take pictures of the oaths of office. Maxwell Block, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Commander Mike Mathis, United States Navy, retired. Presenting Ensign Block with his cover and new insignia are his mother, Heather Block, his brother, Carter Block, his girlfriend, Lauren Sutton. Ensign Maxwell Block is from St. Petersburg, Florida, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Construction Engineering with a minor in Naval Science. He will report to the Navy Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina, as an officer in training for submarine warfare. His first salute will be given by Seaman Jody Block, United States Coast Guard. Andrew Vetch, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Lieutenant Kayla Long, United States Navy. Vetch with his cover and new insignia are his parents, Jana and Steve Vetch, and his grandmother, Ella. Ensign Andrew Vetch is from Export, Pennsylvania, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Nuclear Engineering and a minor in Naval Science. He will report to Navy Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina, as an officer in training for submarine warfare engineering duty officer option. His first salute will be given by Petty Officer Second Class Brian Ruff, United States Navy. United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Captain Brian Tanneker, United States Navy. Presenting Ensign Gibson with his cover and new insignia are his parents, Rima and Damian Gibson, and his wife, Gordon Gibson. Ensign Damian Gibson is from Sahuarita, Arizona, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. He will report to Navy Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina, as an officer in training for submarine warfare. His first salute will be given by Airman Shanna Gibson, United States Air Force. Tyler Jurisco, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Ensign Jacob Nielsen, United States Navy.
I state your name. I, Tyler Jurisco, do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. Foreign and domestic. And I will bear true faith. I will bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. And allegiance to the same. So help me God. So help me. Remember, Ensign.
Ensign Strong. Presenting Ensign Jurisco with his cover and new insignia are his parents, Eric and Nalima Jurisco, and his sisters, Kaylin and Brennan Jurisco. Ensign Tyler Jurisco is from Chesapeake, Virginia, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Microbiology with a minor in Naval Science. He will report to USS Stockdale, DDG 106 out of San Diego, California, as an officer in training for surface warfare. His first salute will be given by Officer Candidate Vivian Gutierrez, United States Navy. Madeline Johnson, United States Navy. Her oath of office will be administered by Lieutenant Commander Tony Sanchez, United States Navy, retired. Presenting Ensign Johnson with her cover and new insignia are her parents Eric and Andrea Johnson, her brother Sam Johnson. Ensign Madeline Johnson is from Apex, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Sciences with minors in Spanish and Naval Science. She will report to USS Paul Ignatius, DDG 117, out of Rota, Spain, as an officer in training for surface warfare. Her first salute will be given by Officer Candidate Vivian Gutierrez, United States Navy. Kellen Kloss, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Lieutenant Timothy Hinkle, United States Navy. Presenting Ensign Kloss with his cover and new insignia are his parents Marlene and Ensign Kloss and his wife Sarah Williams. Ensign Kellen Kloss is from Erie, Pennsylvania, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Electrical Engineering, a minor in Naval Science. Following 9 years in the electrician Navy nuclear, Ensign Kloss will report to Navy Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina, as an officer in training for submarine warfare. His first salute will be given by Petty Officer First Class Claire Club, United States Navy. United States Marine Corps. Her oath of office will be administered by Second Lieutenant Eric Kunku, United States Marine Corps. Second Lieutenant Lavoy with her cover and new insignia are her siblings Kendall and Connor Funk, and her parents David and Angel Funk. Presenting Ensign McKay with his cover and new insignia, or his mother, Memory Anderson, is on Eve Chiarino. Ensign Trevor McKay is from Marietta, California, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering with a minor in Naval Science. We will report to flight school in Pensacola, Florida, as an officer training to become a naval aviator. His first salute will be given by Corporal Russell McKay, United States Marine Corps. United States Marine Corps. His oath of office will be administered by Lieutenant Colonel Mark Caldwell, United States Marine Corps, retired.
I, Brian Stephen Mazza, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
Presenting Second Lieutenant Mazza with his cover and insignia are Caitlin and William Mazza. Second Lieutenant Brian Mazza is from Marietta, Georgia, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in History. He will report to the base school in Quantico, Virginia this fall. His first salute will be given by Gunnery Sergeant Doug Larrabee.
Morning, sir. United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Commander Michael Robinson, United States faithfully discharge the duties of the office to which you are about to enter. The duties of the office to which you are about to enter. So help me God.
Presenting Vincent Perkins with his cover and new insignia, his parents Michelle Perkins and Marla Martin, and his sister Zenny Perkins. Vincent Zane Perkins is from Pamlico County, North Carolina, is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Marine Sciences with a concentration in Biological Oceanography, with minor in Zoology, Biological Sciences, and Naval Science. He will report to Flight School in Pensacola, Florida as an officer trained to become a naval aviator. His first salute will be given by Master Chief Petty Officer Dave Matthews, United States Navy, retired. Nicholas Simon, United States Marine Corps. His oath of office will be administered by Colonel Patrick E. Simon, United States Marine Corps, retired.
Raise your right hand. You have to I state your full name.
I, Nicholas Simon,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
To support and defend the Constitution of the United States
to support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental
or
reservation
purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
That I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
on which I'm about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Presenting Second Lieutenant Simon with his cover and new insignia are his brother Justin Simon, his mother Susan Simon, and father Colonel Patrick Simon, United States Marine Corps, retired. Second Lieutenant Nicholas Simon is from Jacksonville, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and a minor in Naval Science. He will report to the basic school in Quantico, Virginia this fall. His first salute will be given by Staff Sergeant Jared Benson, United States Marine Corps. office will be administered by Captain Tal Holloway, United States Marine Corps.
Solemnly swear. I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. And purpose of the same. And that I will well and faithfully discharge. The duties of the office.
Presenting Ensign Somer with his cover and insignia are his parents Angela and Greg Somer and his fiancee Sophie Reject. Ensign Owen Somer is from Cary, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering and a minor in Naval Science. He will report to Navy Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina, as an officer in training for submarine warfare. His first salute will be given by Officer Canon Vivian Gutierrez, United States Navy. Benjamin T. Keller, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Lieutenant Colonel Willie Pascal, United States Army, retired. Presenting Ensign T. Teller with his cover and new insignia are his parents Michelle and Jason T. Teller. Ensign Benjamin T. Tiller is from Valdez, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering with a minor in Naval Science. You report to USS Chunghoon, TDG-93, out of San Diego, California, as an officer in training for surface warfare. His first salute will be given by Officer Canon Vivian Gutierrez, United States Navy. United States Navy. Her oath of office will be administered by Captain Tate Westbrook, United States Navy, retired. Westbrook with her cover in insignia are her mother, Ashley Westbrook, her sister, Holly Westbrook, and her friend, Aiden Long. Ensign Kate Westbrook is from Alexandria, Virginia, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Marine Sciences with a concentration in biological oceanography with minors in biological sciences and naval science. She reported to flight school in Pensacola, Florida as an officer training to become a naval aviator. Her first salute will be given by Officer Canon Vivian Gutierrez, United States Navy. Please join me in one final round of applause for all of our new second lieutenants and Rear Admiral, United States Navy, departing. Congratulations to our nation's newest military officers. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony.